Andy, thanks for joining us. It's been a season of change at Huddersfield Town. Obviously, we've had our first non-UK or Irish head coach come in David Wagner. I'm interested in your take on things, because obviously you played here for a long time, played under a number of English coaches. What's your view on the changes that David's made day to day at Huddersfield Town?
David, you know me. I'm old school. I'm old fashioned, and I don't like change. But it's been like a breath of fresh air. I think it's been absolutely fantastic, and I presume it was Dean's choice to bring David in, and what a fantastic choice it's been. Under Chris was doing a decent job, like what everybody said. He was a decent bloke, a super bloke, nice bloke, and you want people like that in football to do well. But as you could see where the game was going, where we were playing, the performances, crowds were dropping. It needed a change, and the club's gone in a completely different direction. And for David to come in and to make an impact as quickly as he has done has been unbelievable. We can all remember the Sheffield Wednesday game, the Middlesbrough game. That's the first time I've seen Huddersfield Town fans give a standing ovation to a team that's lost 2-0, and most of them still stayed at the end as well. Which and that's for 3 weeks that have been in the club. And I think it's been, the club needed it. And I think you see the positivity that David's brought, not just on the field but off the field as well, and the changes, and it's not been easy for the players, for them to buy into David's routines. Usually as a footballer we'd be starting at 9:30, we'd have to be in for 9:30, training 10:30, and if we were still at the ground at 1 o'clock, then we'd say that was a late day, and that were the typical English methods. So for him to come in and get the players on side straight away, training in the morning and then training again at 3 o'clock is brilliant. And for me, people ask me what I'd have been like. At first I'd have hated it. As I said, I'm old school and I don't like change, but it makes absolute perfect sense. I playing at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, 7:45 on a Tuesday, your body clock's got to get used to that. And we used to train at 10:30, finish at 12:30, and then what I used to do during the week, you'd go home, have a bit of dinner, and then you put the telly on if you weren't doing it. This was before kids. When with kids, then it's a little bit of a different story. But I'd be then put the telly on, and at 2:30, 3 o'clock, sometimes I'd be dropping asleep. So during the week at 3:30, that when I was sleeping, and I can remember coming to the games on Saturday, and preparing exactly the same, eating the right things, drinking the right fluids, having a good night's sleep Thursday, Friday, and I was set for the game. But come 2 o'clock, I just felt tired and lethargic, and I thought, well, it's been a hard season. Maybe it's just made fitness needed a rest, but it just kept going on. And I went to see the doctor, I went to see the club physio, saying, look, I don't know if my diet's right or not. Checking my diet, checking my fitness. My diet was right, my fitness was fine. And then they looked at my routine, and obviously they noticed that 2:30, 3 o'clock on a Monday to Friday I was asleep. So it was really my body telling me 3 o'clock on a Saturday I should be asleep. And I think that's what some of my performances were like, I think, if you ask some of the fans back then. But it makes absolute perfect sense. It's not easy, I won't lie, it's not easy for the players to buy into it, but it certainly works, and you look at the change that David's made.
You've had a little bit of a different experience of what different cultures can be like in your playing days. I'm thinking of Sheffield Wednesday, and we've talked in the past in the office about when Paolo Di Canio and those guys came into Sheffield Wednesday at a time you were there. Did you take bits and pieces from what they did and the kind of ideas that they brought? Because I know you've talked about Paolo in particular and how fit a guy he was. Could you take little bits and see differences in what they do to what you were used to in your career?
I think we had to, yeah. I think at first we carried on, and back then it was the same culture in the Premiership that it was when I played it for Huddersfield in the First Division and the Second Division. Same couple of hours training, eat what you wanted, drank what you wanted. We'd be out, and it's not right. Tuesday afternoon we'd be out after training, Wednesday night we'd be out, and then you'd be gearing up Thursday, Friday for the game on Saturday. But when my second year, they started bringing a lot more foreign players in at Sheffield, and the likes of Carbone, Di Canio, quite a few Dutch players, Wim Jonk, Gilles de Bilder, I know he was Belgium, but Gerald Sibon, and they couldn't believe the English mentality, what we ate, and especially what we drank. I can remember a quick story with Christmas do. We invited all the players out, and we started at 12:30, 1 o'clock, drinking, went through all day and all night, and they could not believe what we used to put in our body as athletes. They used to wear a red wine, a couple of glasses of red wine at night, and but it probably took, looking back, it probably took about a year for us to realise, hang on, the foreign players weren't doing that, and they started leaving the English players behind. You mentioned how fit Paolo was. Paolo was probably one of the best professionals I ever played with. It was always in the gym before training. He'd be first on the training pitch. Afterwards, we'd finish, we'd go in for his dinner, cup of coffee, straight off. He'd be back out training, practicing free kicks, everything he wanted, and then he'd go into the gym. And in his day, he'd be finishing at 3 o'clock, 3:30, where we'd been home for 2 hours. And I think we English lads realised, hang on, we've got to change. And obviously, the more, especially with the Premiership, the more and more foreign players that were coming in, you could tell that we either got left behind. So I think, and that was 97, 98, and probably come 2000, then that's when the English game started to change, and obviously you see the benefits now. And maybe that's one thing. You look at the English team, why they've not done so well. I know we won the World Cup 50 years ago. Maybe that's why. Maybe we started realising we've got to catch up with the foreign teams, and it's taken a long time, but hopefully we're getting there now.
And a lot of this change that David's brought about in the year we've just had, combined with the cheap season cards. I know you're a recognisable face that still lives in the town. I'm sure a lot of people come up and give their opinion on life at Huddersfield Town. There is still a sense of excitement about what's to come next season, isn't it, with all those factors combined? Exactly,
yeah. As we said, it's been a fantastic season, the positivity on and off the field. And then, obviously, the added bonus of the season tickets. What a great campaign it is. For season tickets for what you and your son or a family, practically for what, £350–400, you can all come and watch Championship football. And you look at the Championship, the teams that are in the Championship, it's a fantastic offer, and it's a season that we're going to look forward to. Yeah, I know a lot of people in the town, and I'm amazed how many people that go down maybe 4 or 5 times a season have now bought a season ticket. So we've got to make sure everybody's down there, and if we can get crowds of 15–16,000 plus the away support every week, that's going to make a massive difference. And I don't think fans realise the impact they have on the players. We can get a big crowd, good atmosphere going, everybody's enjoying it, and the players feel that, and it's amazing. They all prepare the same, but just to get that extra backing from the fans could, silly as it seems, add up to another extra 15 points, and then 15 points, where could you be at the end of the season?
Away from the football, obviously you're still here, Andy. The work's still carrying on over the summer. Give us a flavour of the kind of projects that you're working on at the moment. Obviously, a big focus of your job is to work in the community. What are your big plans for the next 2 months? Yeah,
it slows down a tiny little bit, obviously, through the summer, especially with the summer holidays, schools and half term. But we've got a competition going with Syngenta. They're celebrating their 100 years this year, and they sponsor our school partnerships. So we've got a community project going, which is the Bee Hotel, with a 100 years theme on it, and we're inviting schools to build their own Bee Hotel and flower arrangement, and then we're going to go out in July and judge the competition. It's funny. Obviously, we're a football club, but we do a lot of community work and a lot of different stuff. If somebody said I'd be building bee hotels and that, but it's great that we can be involved with it. A fantastic manufacturing company like Syngenta and a football club can come together, and it's education. It's educational. It's fun. And a little bit of competition as well. So it really ticks all the boxes for the schools and for the football club and Syngenta. I'm also obviously the Pedal for Pounds which really went well. We had a fantastic event this year, starting at Carlisle and coming back here for the last game of the season. We had over 160 cyclists again, and I'm just collecting the money in at the minute, which is great. I say it's for a fantastic cause. We all know the importance of the Yorkshire Area Ambulance, but it's also for our academy as well. And to raise so much money from one event is fantastic. So that's what I'm doing. That's taking most of my time up at the minute.